going to rain more today. It might have stopped now, but I think it might be going to rain some more today. So we're going to check on the weather every day, and probably next week we'll start actually keeping track of the weather so that we can figure out how warm it is and if the next day is warmer or colder. So good job. All right, so that was all of our calendar activities, but that had to do with math, so we're still in math. All right, I am going to try to, we already learned F this morning when we did Friday, because remember Friday starts with an F, so you push your finger back and these fingers go up straight, and that's an F. And the F says, you put your teeth right on your lip and go. Doesn't make very much sound. You gotta just push lots of air out. Okay, the next one is a G. A G is just one finger pointing that way. That's a G. Just point it that way. And a G says two things. G says G, and then it also makes a J sound. So G, J, G, J. The next letter is an H. To make an H, you push two fingers over. Just two fingers. Let's see who this is. Hey, Carter, you're doing it great, buddy, but face your fingers in towards you. Yeah, there you go. So G and H are like that. Your fingers, these side face to you. All right, here's the next one is I. Oh, I don't think I told you the sound H says. So H says, and if you put your hand in front of your mouth, you should be able to feel hot air come out when you do the H sound. So that's H. The next one is I. An I is just your pinky standing up. Your pinky, your baby finger. Your little bit baby finger standing up. And an I says two things. It, and then it also says I. It, I. Good job. The next one is a J. A J, you use your I, your pinky finger, but you draw a J in the air. You go J, J, like a fish hook. You're drawing a fish hook. J, J. Next one is a K. To make a K, I had to think about it. I haven't used them for a while. Okay, to make a K, you put your two fingers up, and then your thumb is going to touch your tall man finger, your middle finger. So you put your thumb straight up to it, like that. That's a K. And a K says K, K, K. But we call this one the tall K. Because remember this one back here. Remember he said K, S, K, S. So these two, the C and the K, they both say K, K. So we call this one, the K, the tall K. All right, moving on. L. L is easy. L, you just go like that, just like it looks like an L. And an L says ooh, ooh. You gotta put your teeth on your tongue. Ooh, ooh. I like that I can see most of you doing it. Ooh, good job. And we learned this morning for Monday, you put three fingers up, put your thumb and your pinky together, and then you put your fingers over top of it. So they go right over top of it, and that's an M. And an M says, Good job. Okay, we're going on to the next page. Next is an N. An N is kind of like an M, only this time we only put two fingers up and put those over our thumb. Just two fingers over your thumb. There you go. Put them down over top of it. And an N says, Good job. All right, next is an O. An O, you just make like an O. And an O says three things. It says aw, o, oo. Aw, o, oo. Good job. All right, next one is a P. Remember how we made the K like this when we had two fingers up and then pointing? Well, a P is a K, but we flip it down. We just flip it down, a P. And a P says P, 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 P. The next one is a Q. A Q, we make a fist, but then we put our two fingers down. And R is the next one. Oh, I forgot to tell you what Q says. Q says qua, qua, qua. R is next. You put your fingers over top of each other. Twist them. And an R says good job. All right, next is an S. And we did the S this morning for our Saturday. Remember how we made a fist, but then our finger went over the front? Your thumb goes over the front of it. That's an S. And an S says two things also. First he says, but sometimes he says, zzz. So we say, zzz, zzz. That's an S. Next is a T. A T, you put your thumb in between your two fingers and turn it up like this. So your thumb just right in between. Like when somebody pretends that they got your nose, that's what they do. That's what a T is. T. And a T says t, t, t. Next is a U. To make a U, you just put two fingers straight up to the air. Just like that. And a U says, uh-oh, I'm echoing. Let me put your microphone off. COVID, can you turn off? Okay, so a U says, and I always point up because that's the kind of sound it says, Then he says his name, U, and then he says, So it's, U, All right, next we're moving on to a V. A V is easy. You just separate your fingers like this. And a V says, put your teeth on your lip again. Next one is a W. A W is like a three fingers up. Down, up, down, up. And a W says, what, what, what. Next is an X. I think X's are fun to make because you just put your finger like that. Just like the little R, X. And an X, he doesn't, not very many things start with X. He usually only comes at the end of words or in the middle of words. But an X, we take the sound K and S together and it says X. So that's what an X says is Y is the next one, and to make a Y, you do like this. And a Y says four things. It says ya, which is what it most usually says, but it also says it like an I, and it says I like an I. So it says ya, it, I, and sometimes it even says E. Ya, it, I, E. Ya, it, I, E is what a Y says. And the very last one, a Z, with a Z, you just draw a Z. Just draw a Z, and a Z says Z. All right, tomorrow we actually fingers. Can you wiggle your fingers? Miss Richardson says, wiggle your fingers. Next one, Miss Richardson says, touch your nose. Miss Richardson says, touch your nose. Good job. Next one, Miss Richardson says, walk around in a circle. job. Next one, Miss Richardson says, blink your eyes. Can you blink your eyes? Good job. Okay, keep going. Miss Richardson says, touch your toes and pretend to cry. So you gotta bend over, touch your toes, and go.
Pretend to cry.
Next one, Miss Richardson says, hop 2 times. Just 2. 1, 2. Hop 2 times. Hop 2 times. Good job. Next one, Miss Richardson says, shake your head.
My hair's on my face, Mom.
Miss Richardson says, ooh, I won't even be able to see you do this, except those of you who I can see your floor, but this says sit on the floor. So if I sit down, you're not even going to see me. Next one, Miss Richardson says, say your name. So say your name. Miss Richardson. Next one, Miss Richardson says, spin around. Spin around. Next one, Miss Richardson says, let's see what we got now. Oh, this is an easy one. Rub your elbow. This is your elbow. Rub your elbow. Not your shoulder, your elbow. Right here. Where your arms coming together. Next one, Miss Richardson says, raise 1 foot. So pick 1 foot up off the ground. You can't see my feet. Pick 1 foot up off the ground. Raise 1 foot. Miss Richardson says, pretend to swim and say how old you are. So you pretend to swim, and then I'm just going to say, I'm old, but I bet most of you guys are 5. Are you 5?
How old are you?
Yeah, I think all of you should be 5. Next one. Miss Richardson says, count to 5. Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Woo-hoo. All right, we're going to do one more. Miss Richardson says, wave to me and jump 2 times. So wave to me and jump 2 times. All right, good job. Miss Richardson says, sit back down in your chair.